Okay, guys, so what we want to do then is we want to go ahead and we want to continue talking about, I'm just going to go through this real quick. So, Jared, are you with me, buddy? I know your essay's done, but hang tight with me just for a minute. Everybody, eyes up here. Eyes up here. Thank you. The body of the paper. We know that it needs to have lots and lots of good stuff in it. It's going to be 2 paragraphs long. We're going to have the Iditarod and climbing Mount Everest. And they might end up being quite long. So we want to put in all that information that we brainstormed last week. The training, the time, the consequences, the supplies, all that information. We don't just want one sentence about each one. We want to put some details in our writing. So your paragraphs are going to stretch out and get to be quite long. All right. We want to make sure that the first sentence of the body paragraph starts with a topic sentence. So you want to come up with some interesting fact or some fun statement about the Iditarod or about Mount Everest. So it can be as simple as Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world. Or it could be something more creative like, imagine yourself riding a sled being pulled by 16 huskies in 20 below degree weather in the wilderness of Alaska. It can be factual like that, or it can be creative. Okay? You might use the term ambition in your paragraphs over and over and over again. Even though people have a lot of the same ambition, they realize there might be consequences to climbing Mount Everest. And on that paper I gave you, there's lots of synonyms for the word ambition, so you don't have to use it over and over again. You can use those other words instead. All right. Loaded with details, absolutely. And then we've got some examples. I want to talk very quickly about the conclusion. And this is in the PowerPoint, and you can go through this later. We're going to do this part in our revisions. The conclusion. We're going to write this together right now. Even if you don't have all of your body paragraphs finished, we can still write the conclusion, and then you can squeeze in the body paragraph, because with Word documents, it's easy to move things around. All right. So we know that we want to wrap up what we've been explaining in our paper. This paper is designed to convince the reader that it takes a lot to climb Mount Everest or race the Iditarod, that some ambitions, like being an Olympic athlete, require so much time and dedication and effort. And we're just giving you a couple of examples of this. So we want to make sure that we've answered the rhetorical question in our paper. The first sentence of our conclusion should restate the rhetorical question. And the rhetorical question was, what does it take? Right? Yes? You with me? Mm-hmm. We're not going to repeat the question. We're going to say the same thing in different words. Who has an example of that they can share with us right now? Who has an example of restating the rhetorical question that's already written in their conclusion? Somebody's got one. If you don't volunteer, I'll have to volunpick you. All right then. Jared, nice and loud, please. How did you start your conclusion?
Ambition means to want something so bad that you will go through almost anything to accomplish your goal.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, Tori, how did you start yours?
I started mine with a question.
That's okay. Let me hear it.
Some of the most difficult tasks require dedication, hard work, and ambition. What does it take to achieve some of the most difficult goals that people pursue? It takes a lot to achieve your goals. Your goals need time, hard work, supplies, sometimes food, and courage. Everyone's goal is different, so sometimes it needs different expectations.
Okay, so you read us your entire conclusion. That first sentence where you repeated the rhetorical question, we want to write that in your own words now, not mine. So this is what's called revision, right? This is why this is a rough draft, because we're going to make some changes. Sam, would you read us just the first sentence of your conclusion, please?
Iditarod and climbing Mount Everest are very close to the same, but they're totally different at the same time.
Okay, that does not restate the rhetorical question, right? It restates the topic, but not the rhetorical question. So you're going to want to put in a sentence before that that restates the rhetorical question. And we heard Jared's example. Who else has an example they can share with us? One more. Austin. Justin. Sorry.
Some of the most difficult tasks that people pursue require dedication, hard work, and ambition. People starve for the chance to be successful in life. Ambition can help people succeed in their goals. Climbing Mount Everest or finishing the Iditarod can help people savor the taste of ambition. Ambition is the food that feeds the goal of someone's life.
Okay, really good conclusion, but same thing with your first sentence. You rewrote the question. So we're gonna work on that, okay? So you want to say that exact same thing, only in your own words. So you did a really good job with your conclusion. Okay. All right. So, for example, on the screen here, we've got an example of restating the question. Why do so many people spend their lives working towards the lifelong ambition, or their lifelong ambition? So we're taking the same question and we're restating it. Then, just as you heard from Tori and from Justin, write the next 2 to 3 general statements about ambition that you learned from your research. And they did an excellent job doing that. And then the last sentence is your selling point. Why is this important? And we heard that from Tori and Justin's example. Okay? For example, without ambition, people would have no direction in their lives. So you want to end your rhetorical essay with a clear, strong statement of what you've learned from this paper. Where's your level of understanding right now?